before I had to move up.
Juan's family for having me here today. My name is Joshua Lopez. I'm running for City Council here in Washington, D.C. On April 26th, 6 days away. So I won't take up too much of your time because I know everyone's eating and having a good time socializing. And we have some guests here. Hello, how are you? Okay, so it's time for some change in D.C., which is the reason why I jumped into this race. I'm not happy with the status quo. I'm not happy with the lack of representation that many communities are facing in the city. Whether you're Latino, whether you're a working class resident, whether you're a young person, or whether you're a senior in the city. There's a lack of representation. You have council members, public officials, who have been making irresponsible decisions for a number of years. So I got into this race, for that reason, and also because we're missing people who are going to be honest with folks. People who will make tough decisions that will move the city forward. If we keep electing the same people, we'll get the same results. It's time for some change. So the issues that I've been fighting for since I jumped into this race are continuing education reform. The city can only go but so far if we have a broken school system. For those that went to DC public schools, grew up in the city, you know firsthand how bad the school system is and how it's failed young people across the board for decades. I have peers who were graduated from DCPS and can't even read and write. And this is probably true across the board in all 8 wards. Who are we as a city, if we can't even give people a basic foundation in education, and pave a path for them to be successful adults in the city. There's a housing crisis in the city. There's a lack of affordable housing. Working class families are being pushed out of the city, for a number of reasons. And every year, including this year, government officials continue to cut into the budget, continue to cut into the Housing Production Trust Fund, which is in place to build and preserve affordable housing in the city. So as a council member, I will take on these issues, I will fight for them, and I'll be a voice for the working class, I'll be a voice for people who have been historically ignored in the city. Now, I jumped into this race back in December, and when I got into the race, people said, look, you're too young, it's not your time yet. DC's not ready, for a Latino to be in there. They're not ready, for a young person. Wait your turn. You can have your turn, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But I said, you know what? I think we can win this thing. And everything that we've done since we started this election on Christmas Eve has shown us that we can win. We were the first campaign to actually go out and get the signatures to get on the ballot. We did that in 2 weeks. We were the first campaign to go out every single day, knocking on doors across all 8 wards. Has anyone here seen the green signs that say Lopez for council?
I have!
So we have them all over the city. And that's because we go out and we ask people for the votes. And the least we can do is go to somebody's door and at least personally introduce myself and ask them for their support and answer any questions that they have. And people appreciate that. They appreciate that there's a young man with some fresh ideas, some energy, willing to go downtown and shake things up and say no to the status quo. And so we've been able to generate momentum. We have over 2,000 yard signs all over the city, and we're on a path to victory. We've also been the campaign that has spent the least amount of money in running the campaign. I have a competitor who spent $130,000 so far, but he hasn't yielded any results. He'll pay high-priced lobbyists, spend a lot of money on mailers, but won't actually go out there himself and talk to people. So we spent the least amount of money and we've yielded the most results. If that's the kind of person you want as a council member, someone who's going to be frugal with your money, somebody who's going to ask tough questions, someone who's going to stay out in the community, and someone who's going to fight for folks to make sure that the city moves forward in a positive direction, I'll be your best candidate. If you're looking for change, if you're looking for someone that's going to fight for progress in the city, I'll be your guy. And I'll end the speech off on this, because everyone seems to be having a great time. My mother. You want to come up here, Mom? My mother is my hero. My mother is, has taught me everything I know in politics. When I was in elementary school, she'd have me out there, working the polls, passing out literature, talking to people. And one thing my mom always told me, just a quick background, my mother came here at the age of 26 from Guatemala with a 6th grade education and a bag full of dreams. And one thing she always told me, a few things, she said, value the importance of education. You have opportunities in this country that I never had. With the education, that'll break down barriers. You'll be able to achieve anything that you want in life. 2, always be honest with people. Even if they don't agree with you, let them know where you stand, and you can always walk away with your head up. And 3, you gotta fight for something that you believe in. Even if it's a battle that you think you'll lose, jump in it, give it all you have, and again, you can walk away with your head up. You'll be a man with integrity, you'll be a man of honesty. If you want somebody who will bring all of those qualities to the city council, I'll be your best representative. Enough with the status quo. It's time to shake things up. We're gonna make history on Tuesday. We're going to continue 2012. There's other elections. We're going to look for progressive young people who can continue to fight for the District of Columbia. We're going to make change. We'll make history. I need everyone's vote on Tuesday, April 26th. I just want to acknowledge a few people in the crowd. We have a few ANC commissioners in the neighborhood, in the room. If you could raise your hand. ANC commissioners, thank you for coming out today. I started my political career out as an advisory neighborhood commissioner, working on small things in the neighborhood. So I understand, the hard work that